7%. That is the maximum share of employment-based green cards that any single country can receive per year. By statute, the same 7% applies to India, population 1.4 billion, as to Liechtenstein, population 39,000. I ran the math against the current Indian queue. 7% of 140,000 visas is 9,800 per year. The Indian queue, principals and derivatives combined, is 1.2 million people. We are about to compute the weight. I went back to the statute. Title 8, United States Code, Section 1152, Paragraph A, Subsection 2. The text reads, "The total number of immigrant visas made available to natives of any single foreign state in any fiscal year may not exceed 7% of the total." That paragraph was added by the Immigration Act of 1990. Public Law 101-649, signed by President George H.W. Bush on November 29, 1990. Introduced by Senator Edward Kennedy, passed the Senate 81-17. It has not been substantively amended in 36 years. Let's compute. We need three numbers: the total annual employment-based pool, the per-country share, and the size of the Indian queue. Number 1. The annual pool. Per Section 203 of the Act, 8 U.S.C. Section 1153 subsection B, Congress sets the worldwide employment-based total at 140,000 visas per fiscal year, split across 5 preference categories. EB1, EB2, and EB3 each get 28.6%, about 40,000 each. EB4 and EB5 each get 7.1%, about 10,000 each. Add them up, 140,000. Number 2, the per-country cap. 140,000 multiplied by 7% equals 9,800. That is the maximum number of visa numbers any single country can receive across all 5 EB categories combined in a fiscal year. That 9,800 counts visa numbers, which means principals plus their spouses and minor children. A family of 4 consumes 4 visa numbers, not 1. Number 3, the Indian queue. Per Cato Institute analysis of USCIS pending inventory through 2023, plus the current Visa Bulletin June 2026 trends, the Indian queue in EB2 and EB3 combined, including derivative beneficiaries, is approximately 1.2 million people, roughly 1.1 million principals at a derivative multiplier of 1.1. The arithmetic: 1.2 million divided by 9,800, 122.4 years. Round it to 125. 125 years to clear the existing Indian queue at the statutory ceiling. That is not a worst case. That is the cap doing its arithmetic. With historical spillover from underused ROW allocation, the effective math is closer to 60 or 80 years. But the statutory floor is 125. The disparity. Here's the part that explains the entire structure. India and China together account for approximately 73% of all employment-based backlog applicants. Their combined statutory allocation, 14% of issuance, 2 times 7%. The rest of world, Germany, Canada, the United Kingdom, every country in Africa and Latin America, the rest of Asia outside India, China, and the Philippines, has minimal queue. Most ROW EB2 and EB3 categories are current. A German engineer who files today gets a visa number this fiscal year. An Indian engineer with the same job, same employer, same wage, waits more than a century at the statutory cap. If you are Indian-born in the EB2 or EB3 queue, the 7% number changes how you think about the weight. 3 things follow from the math. 1. No level of USCIS efficiency improvement changes the weight. The bottleneck is upstream of adjudication. USCIS could approve every petition tomorrow, and the visa numbers still flow at 9,800 per year per country. 2. Incremental reform does not work. Adding 1,000 visas a year to India shaves maybe 10 years off a 125-year queue. Only eliminating the per-country cap structurally fixes it. 3. The binding constraint is political, not bureaucratic. A 36-year-old paragraph in a statute, 3 failed reform attempts. That is the timer running, not your priority date. For most viewers in this queue, the practical answer is to look for a route that operates outside the 7% math. We will cover those routes next. The reform graveyard is short and instructive. H.R. 1044 passed the House in 2019. 365-65, died in the Senate. S. 386 passed the Senate by unanimous consent in December 2020. The House and Senate versions could not reconcile before the session ended. Died. H.R. 3648, the Eagle Act, reached the House floor in late 2022, pulled before the vote, died. The bill has been reintroduced in the current Congress. It sits in committee, so the practical answer is a different category. Cross-chargeability through a spouse born outside India and China. Video 5. The O1 non-immigrant. The only true CAP exemption because it is not an immigrant visa. Video 11. EB2 NIW and EB1A. Same CAP structure, but Indian demand does not exceed the 7% allocation. Videos 13 and 14. These are not recommendations. They are the only arithmetic that works. The statute has not changed in 36 years. The next visa bulletin will not change it either, but the spillover allocation might. June 13th. We will run the numbers again. Subscribe. Real numbers, real weight. USCIS data only.